Like not physical, like not bad, but like you know what I mean. Good morning and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Corin, and for the others that have joined us back, hello. Thank you for joining us again today. Today is Saturday, April 19th. It is 8:35 a.m. I'm going to bring you along with me this morning. I am heading over to a party venue to put together a balloon arch that I'm getting paid to do. Another little hobby on the side, I do balloon arches. So I've done it 1 year and I've done them ever since. So we're going to go ahead and get out and do that today. I just wanted to check in with you guys. And the next clip will be me putting together the arch.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I wanted to pop in really quick to provide you guys an update. The last clip that you guys saw was me putting together the balloon arch that was scheduled yesterday. Today is Sunday, Resurrection Sunday at that. And I just got home from church and I just wanted to provide an update on what's to come for this week's video. And also, sorry that the last clip was rushed. It definitely was rushed because I filmed that intro within the last 10 minutes of me leaving. So, but in this video, there is going to be some writing content. I did want to get my book organized in this video. And so hopefully either later today or tomorrow on Monday, I will sit down with you guys and work through getting my book organized and share my tips, tricks, any steps that I take in order to do that. And not only am I going to be organizing my book, but I also want to go over some questions that I have jotted down that need to be answered and see if I can answer them with you guys. But yes, that is going to be the writing content that I would like to share. Right now, I'm about to get ready to go to some I'm about to go to an Easter lunch with my mom's side of the family and then go to Easter dinner with my dad's side of the family. So we do kind of have a packed Sunday, but hopefully with us getting out early enough, because it's only 1:57 right now. So hopefully I can be home by 8 o'clock. But with how my family is, I'm not holding my breath. So after that, I may check in again later tonight. And I am also going to bring my writing stuff with me just in case there is any downtime or I'm getting bored and want something else to do. But I may try to get some writing organized while I'm out with family, but that probably won't happen either. I also wanted to mention that last week I was able to get my Pinterest board organized. So I did tell you guys that when I create my stories or have a story idea, I immediately create a Pinterest board with all my inspiration photos, and that's sometimes where the ideas come from anyways. Like I'll see a cool photo of like landscape or something and be like, oh, I'm gonna use this, and I already have a whole storyline that's gonna go based off of this one picture. Sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's not. But regardless, I always make a Pinterest board with all of my ideas. And so last week I got all of my Pinterest boards for my books and other future books. I got them all organized. So that was one step of me organizing, which felt really nice. And there's one book that was stuck in my head, but I didn't write nothing down, and it popped into my head last week, and I made sure to get all my ideas written down. I'm upset though, because there were some of the ideas that I forgot, and here is a tip number one that you need to do. If you have a book idea and this book is just running in your head and you're coming up with so many cool scenes and so many ideas, even if you're already working on a book, make sure you write it down, so that when you do get to it, everything will just come back because you have it all written down. This book has been living in my head, but I forgot about it, and then it came back, and I was upset because some of the stuff that I was writing down didn't make sense because I forgot a key part that was pulling other parts together. Yeah. So I was focused on that last week, got that all written out and organized, but now it is time to dive back into this trilogy. I think the issue that I'm having with trying to stay focused on this trilogy is because I'm pretty sure I've told you guys this before. I wanted it to be one book. I was like, I'm not doing this 2, 3, 4, 5 book series. No. I was just gonna be one book, and that's it. Okay? And it'll be fine. No. Too much happens that I had to make it into 3 books. Right? And I think the problem that I'm having with focusing on this trilogy, even though I'm only trying to focus on book 1, for some reason I can't stop thinking about just the whole thing. Because if it were up to me, I would write every single book and release them all at the same time. And I'm not gonna do that. So I think I'm struggling with staying focused because I feel like it's very daunting and very just a lot. I like the words, I'm losing my words right now, so it's not coming out as understandable, I think, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm getting stressed. Well, not stressed. Words are hard right now. My feelings are hard to understand right now. But I just feel like it's just a very big, daunting task with working on a trilogy. But that's not how writers get known. That's not how authors make their name out there, right? Like, even with the struggles that we feel, even if we feel we're not adequate to tell the story that we've been given to tell, that's a lie. Don't do that to yourself. Because I'm someone that I always start projects. I start things and I don't finish them. I'm gonna finish this. So this video is hopefully going to be the start of a long process of finishing this book and finishing a series. Because even if I don't ever write again, I feel like this 3-book series is something I have to do. And I'm gonna do it. So, but yeah, so that is kind of where I'm at right now. And so I will probably check in with you guys either later today or tomorrow. But until we get to that writing content, which will be towards the end of the video, I did have to put together my son's Easter basket. I did that on Friday. And I filmed that for you guys. It might be boring, I don't know, but this is my life, and that was my life this weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that clip in next, and then I will see you guys when I check back in. Hello! I am back. It is still Sunday, currently 9:10 p.m. And what we're going to go ahead and do, since this is the very first video of me organizing my book, then we are going to go through my binder, because I did create a binder with a section for my story. So I'm going to show you guys how I organize my binder and what I use my binder for. And then we are going to go ahead and transfer some notes from one notebook to a different notebook. So essentially, I have this notebook. I use this for my, to keep track of the payments I get from like my side hobbies and craft shows I used to do, and just all of my social media information and stuff like that. So that's what I use this notebook for. But since I didn't have any other notebook at the time when I started writing, I use this as like my quick notes to put all of any ideas or anything that came to mind down in this notebook. So I'm gonna get all of those notes organized and transferred from here to here. And like I told you guys, I feel like I'm pretty old school, so I do still write a lot of stuff down. I feel like for me, it's better for me to get my ideas down if I write them down first, and then either I'll keep them in the notebook, or if I feel like I need to organize it further, which putting it into a outline, then I will move it over to my iPad and have it electronically. But for right now, I'm switching notes from one notebook to the other notebook. And then I also have a list of questions of some things that I need to kind of get figured out for my story. So like, these were questions that I asked myself that I think that reading it that you guys would want to know as well. Essentially, I'm just putting myself in the seat or the shoes of the reader. And so there's just some questions, details I have to get finalized or figured out. So I will be doing that as well in this video. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take a look inside of my story binder. All right, so here is the setup. Hopefully it isn't too awkward or weird. I'm working with what I have, so this is the best setup I could come up with. But here is my binder. It is, I believe, like a 3-inch binder. It is one of the smaller ones. Right now, I only have 2 story ideas sections listed here, and so we are going to look at the section that I'm working on right now, which is the Romantasy trilogy, which I'm calling at the moment Once Upon a Time. And so this is the section that I have for it. It is purple. That was the kind of color inspiration I have for this story. And so this is just my cover. I wrote the tentative name that I'm using at the moment, and then I do have a folder. So when I did start writing this book, I actually wrote out up to 7 chapters by hand, and so that's what these sheets of paper are here. They are my 7 chapters that I wrote out. And then down in this pocket, I started creating character sheets with note cards, and so I started putting them on ring cards, but decided that instead of printing off a bunch of pictures to attach to these, especially since some of them I've had to rewrite, I was like, you know what, I'll just do it electronically. So I'm currently, as you guys know, moving all of my character sheets to my iPad and having them electronically to be easier to look at. And then on the back of this folder, I just have some notes that I wrote down on a piece of paper. So I originally had a to-do list that I had written out, And as you can see, I've had it written out since 2024. Nothing has been done on that or checked off. And then I just have some random notes and tidbits that I had written out, because I also originally did my 3-act outline on these cards here, which as you can see has been crossed out because I did get them transferred over electronically. And it appears I have some other notes here I should probably take a look at, but yeah, this is basically where all my loose sheets of paper go that either have notes or little things that I've jotted down. And then this is something that I wanted to point out. This is actually a 30-day novel challenge. So I originally created this to do in the month of February, but I did not get around to doing it. I really slacked and dropped the ball. So I am no longer going to use this as a 30-day challenge, but I will use it to help me kind of accomplish some things with this book. So the next thing here, this is a packet. Usually when I come up with book ideas, it's usually quick notes or like ideas I came up with, and I quickly jot them down and type them out in my iPad in like the notes. And so that's basically what this is. When I decided to start working on this story, I made a bunch of notes on how I wanted the story to go. This also even has like things I researched, so like some definitions for some things that I didn't understand or to have a better understanding, and to help with providing some facts. So this essentially is literally the very first thoughts that ever happened regarding this book. Now, all of this stuff in paper, I do plan on keeping. So I do have a separate folder. Let me show you, which is this here. So once the book is all finished, done, and published, then any of the paper notes that I physically wrote out, they will be going in this folder so that I can keep them for memories and to show what it looked like when I started this book off in the beginning. So the next section, this is my writing goals. This changes a lot. I'm someone that has a hard time with sticking to goals or like writing out the goals that I have. And so that's why this always keeps changing, because I can't really stick to anything right now. But I do have that here. And the next thing I have in this binder, this is a outline packet, which shows how to outline Act 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, it's not really filled out, and that's because I might actually do a different kind of outline, but I don't know. I'm very indecisive when it comes to trying to get notes and everything written out for this book. This is why I need to organize it. So this is the story outline, and then we get to my character sheets. So the only character sheets that I have here in paper are my main characters, side characters. And then this here is a packet on how to find your character's misbeliefs. And then this packet is the powerful character arc formula, just so that I can help create a powerful character. And that is it for this section. So that's everything that I keep in my binder at the moment. And all of the packets that you saw that were printed and filled out, those were Abby Emmons, which I have mentioned on my channel before. I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions that need to be answered, and then we will organize my notes in the end. So one of the first questions I have on here is, what are Jacob's tattoos? Also, I do want to point out, I know that in one of my videos, I think it was the second video, I did say by accident that Jacob was a minor character. He's not a minor character. He is a side character. So he will play a big part in the story, but he's not one of the main characters. He's one of the side characters. And for his character, I knew that I wanted to have some meaningful tattoos, and I did get that figured out. I kind of got some inspiration from Pinterest. So his tattoo is going to be his full back. It's going to, on the lower back, I don't have it. I don't know placement yet. I have it saying lower back will be a blue eye with 7 wings with 2 swords on each side of it. Like, not each side, like, it makes sense. I have pictures, everything. It makes sense to me. But 2 swords. And then above it is going to be a prophecy written in a dead language for this land. So random markings, stuff like that. So I have that figured out already. Thank goodness. Because that one, I was like, I didn't want it to be, I needed it to have a purpose. I just didn't want random markings on his body. Now that has a purpose. Next question. What are the people of Cell called? And what are the people with natural magic called? So in my story, we have beings that are immortal, that have natural magic, which basically just means they were born with magic and they don't need to use spells in order to ignite their powers or to use it. And we have wizards and witches that are considered beings without natural magic, which means they have to use spells and potions in order to use magic. So with the people with natural magic, I kind of have to figure out what I want to call them, because this is not a fae story, so they're not fairies. I don't know how much I want to divulge, but I have a whole world in my head, and there are fae people on this land, but for the specific story that I have, and for the specific people in this area that I'm writing for, they're not fae or fairies. And so I had an idea of calling them angels, just because of the religion aspect of the story, especially since, let me provide you the song that actually also inspired me to write this book. Song Angel by Halle Bailey. And that song, it is so good. But because of that song, I was like, oh, we should call them angels. So I think I am going to stick with that. Next question is, does Jacob have natural magic? Yes, I have decided that yes, he does. Originally, I didn't want Jacob to have any natural magic or powers, but the longer that I thought about it, the more that it would just make sense. And so I needed him to be a bad dude. Like, not not bad, but like, you know what I mean. And so I was like, he has to have, in order to be him to be that man, he needs to have magical powers. And I don't think I'm going to share what his magical powers is, because I was so excited to write about it. And I got some inspiration for it from anime. I don't even know if I should say that much, but that's all I'm going to give. You have to read it to find out. Next question. What is the importance what is the importance of light and dark magic? Why was it created? So since I was kind of going more on the side of doing more of a traditional princess fantasy story, a lot of those stories, it has magic aspect. Well, I won't say like Disney princess stories because I don't think any of the Disney princess stories deal with light and dark magic. But typically when you see the cliche, typical fantasy stuff, it's dealing with light and dark magic. So that's the aspect of my magic system. There's good and bad, and essentially in the story, people that have magic, like natural magic has to figure out how to balance it out. But with trying to discuss or think about the importance of it and why it was created, this will go into like the religion aspect. So I'm gonna have to think on that one a little bit more. That one is a little bit harder of a question. This last question was actually something that I have been thinking about recently, and it's should I use magical relics in this book? Because in this series there's going to be 3 wars that have happened on this land, and so essentially I was trying to figure out if I wanted to have 3 magical relics that have a very high importance. Okay, sorry, that was the intermission. I decided that yes, I am gonna do 3 magic items created because of the wars. I had an epiphany because I was like, oh, an idea for 2 of them, which one I already had, but I felt like it was kind of lame, but I'm gonna keep it. And so I was just jotting those down, and so I just have to figure out what the last one is. I figured out what the 3rd relic is gonna be and the power that it has. And I also figured out all 3 relics. And so I am really happy about that, especially since I think they're pretty unique ideas. And I already kind of know how they're going to play into the story, so that's pretty exciting. Of the 9 questions I had, there was only 2 that I did not answer because those are going to relate to other things I'm going to dive into later on that I don't want to get into right now. So what we are going to do now is I am going to go ahead and get these notes transferred over into this notebook here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to show a little bit of that here. So I did finish transferring all of the notes that related to the storyline from my notebook over to my other one. And so now it is more organized, and so that I can kind of understand where everything is at. I might go back in at a later time once I start writing and highlight the parts and separate them between acts 1, 2, and 3 so that I know where they fall into the storyline. But for right now, the main part is done, and so that is going to be it for this video. It is currently 11:49 and I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. So that is going to be all for this video. Hopefully you liked it and it was somewhat helpful. I know that right now it's kind of like the boring stuff, but it helps me and I'm feeling good about it. So this is my process. I hope you continue to come on this journey with me. It is a crazy one, but so far it's been a fun ride. And so I hope you like this video. If so, please give this a like, and also make sure that you subscribe and share with any of your friends. Thank you, and until next time.